Welcome to the call today, guys. And Marilyn kicked us off with our back order topic. Let me make sure I keep letting everybody in. So our back order list has kind of been the same that it's been for a while, Enliven and Strong. Now, Enliven has been back ordered for 4 months now, and Strong for a couple of months. And if you watch Milo and I's What's Up call, if we can ever do an ETA on them, then we do. If we can't, then we just don't. And we stopped doing that just because we got into too much trouble with it. There's so many things changing out there, and especially with so many businesses, the supply chain really just got all discombobulated. A lot of businesses went under. A lot of people we used to deal with for years in ingredients were no longer in business. I mean, it was just weird. And we talked about caps and bottles and all that. So when you look at something like Enliven, I had an email this last week, and she literally just said, I want an answer and I want to know why. There has to be a reason. And I don't blame her. I really don't. And that's the hard thing about these products is we love them. And I understand that. I truly understand that. So, and like I said, and I've told you guys this before, it's very true. When we're back ordered on a product, we take anything we have from anything that we've ordered, if we have anything we have unopened, and we make sure we send them out, because we know that if you love the products as much as we do, you want them. Enliven, I'm dying for it to come back myself. I really am. I don't have an ETA, and I don't for Strong either. Shampoo and conditioner shouldn't be very long. And we really got the back ordered list way down, and we'll always have something here and there. Especially as we have a lot of companies out there still trying to regulate, and we get more, another thing too, is you have to remember, and I know we've talked about this, we have the best products and we use the best ingredients. And honestly, when you're dealing with companies like that, there's a few others that are too, those companies can be hard to find because there's just a lot of crap out there and there's not a lot of good stuff. So when we have a supplier that we've worked with for years that we're not able to, which happened a lot in the last couple of years, it was difficult for us to establish new relationships with people, make sure, of course, through testing that their ingredients are up to standard as they should be. And trust me, many of them are absolutely not. So it's been a trial, as you guys know, I think we had at the most 28 backorder products at one time. It was just a disaster, of course, but everybody else did. We got through it and we brought them down. But I do understand the Enliven and Strong, and we just don't even give an ETA on it because those dates come and go. And even if we think we're close to it, if something now. A lot of times when we talk to Thomas, because we'll talk to Thomas and he'll say, this will be a couple weeks, when he just says, I don't know on this one, he just, that's all we can do. If we have an issue. Okay. So I'm going to give you a little bit.
Sunshine, but you're getting me on.
Let me mute everybody.
That's a bit better.
But I will say this. Okay. Because I do, like I say, I go to R&D meetings and I go to some of the other things. Sometimes something as simple as a fragrance, or something like that we used to get very easily, all of a sudden we don't get. And I know that's happened with a product recently. Any small change like that, and people say, well, get another one. Well, that's a big deal. It could also be a change in, our label. So those things are difficult to just change very quickly or find a substitute or stuff like that. And we try. But something as simple as a fragrance has been very difficult for a couple of products that we've had as those changed. And we don't like to change those unless we find something fun. Like I said, we've got a whole bunch of products coming out in the next couple of years. But starting this year, you're going to see an influx of those coming out that are very fun. and some that will change with the seasons, which is very cool. Giving you guys lots of cool new fragrances that you guys can try throughout the year. And I think we've kind of just not had a lot of that. And we're really going to put some fun things into our product inventory and product list. So especially, like I say, in the personal care line, we're going to see lots of fun products there. Skincare line, you're not even going to recognize it. It's super cool. So any chance of Slender Pops coming back? They were great. Okay, let me tell you a really funny story about Slender Pops. For some reason, did anybody ever kind of feel like Slender Pops made your stomach hurt? Because, no? Okay. Well, I've got a bag if anybody wants them, because I remember my dad gave me some and I gave to my kids, and that night, maybe they just didn't need Slender Pops or whatnot. But no, Slender Pops we are not looking at. And if we do, we'll do a completely different formula. But we are looking at some new science for weight loss, so that because like Tom Jr. has always said, we're never going to come out with a product unless a new product or an improved product, unless it really has the science behind it. But he's been looking at some great ones. So someone says, never heard of them. Slender Pops was basically a sucker that you took, had some great ingredients in it that helped you lose weight. So I don't even know how many years ago that was. But yeah, it was a kind of a fun product. Like I said, my dad gave us a bag of them.
Probably 4 or 5 years ago, Leisel.
Yeah.
And they were amazing.
Yeah.
Because they helped you snack grazing and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't mention the Thermarol in your out of stocks.
Okay. I didn't know they were out. I called right before this call.
Yeah.
Let me hurry and do it.
I checked this morning, Leisel, and it's still showing out of stock.
All right. Thank you, Marilyn. Let me just ask really quick, and I'll make it, because that wasn't when I was said. Thank you, Marilyn, so much. So anyway, again, I will keep everybody updated as much as we can, but a lot of times it's just something that's we're just having to wait for. Now, I want to talk about when our next call is going to be. In 2 weeks, it's going to be Mower Mountain, so that we can't have our call then. So on June 25th will be our next country call. And we have a very cool special guest on coming up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Have we had Thermarol for a while? Yeah, Marilyn, I'll talk to you about that after. But I don't think you'll see it back in the lineup right now. So, but yes, so Tom Jr. is going to be on our next call. We will be fresh off the Mower Mountain program. Very cool. And yeah, so yeah, this is Thermarol we haven't had for a little bit. So I thought maybe you had just gotten some kind of message, but I guess you just saw it in your back office. So anyway, let me get back to this. June 25th, guys, will be our next call. Tom Mower Jr., he's going to be on with us. We're going to be able to talk about Mower Mountain, all the products that we came out with, a few of the things. Now, we've talked about a program that I was going to invite several of our distributors on. We're not going to be showing that program at Mower Mountain. In fact, we're going to do a test run in our Japan market, which is going to be very cool. We're going to launch it there first and see how they do. I think it's going to be awesome. Like I said, I'm really excited for Australia and New Zealand because I think it's just the kind of market that's going to love this new program. So I just wanted to let you guys know that if you were waiting on this little meeting we were going to have, we are not going to have that at Mower Mountain anymore. We're going to have a test market, like I said, in Japan, but I'll keep you updated on that, and hopefully soon, because if things go really well with them. And in a month or two, they're like loving the results and they love this new program. We're going to kick it off really fast for us. So we'll wait and see what they have to say. Now, those of you guys who saw our Facebook page probably saw that we had our June promo. And if you haven't, here it is. It's kind of, it's our Father's Day here in the US. So that doesn't always coincide with Australia, but, it can be a guy's month too, but, or anybody's. So you have one Sisel Cafe, one Sisel Ripped, one Sisel Sport, a Mount Pleasant shower gel, super shave, and fire and ice. So a great savings of $21 for distributors, $25 for PCs. Distributors get that all for $188, which 188 PV, 156 CV. Preferred customers, 207 with 207 PV and 171 CV. I did have a message. I don't know if any of you guys saw, it's up for a little bit longer, that asked if they could just take some products and switch them out on the promos. And unfortunately not. You just kind of get what you get in those promos. And that's the way it works. Our deal of the day will be on the 23rd of this month. So I kind of like to tell you guys in advance when it is, because I know it's a little difficult for us to get into customer service if we need to or whatever. So put on your calendar. I can't tell you what it is, but the deal of the day will be the 23rd of this month. So make sure you're ready for that. And 24 hours, be ready. Now let's start with our guest. And I'm really excited to have this guy on this call. And Milo and I went and we did some meetings, and we have some new teams popping up everywhere. And this guy is one of the leaders, Jonathan Schleback, and his wife, Luella. They've been in Sisel around 4 or 5 years, and they have their 6-star. Can you imagine? They're 6-star already, 4 or 5 years, 6-star. I've been watching them, and I loved listening to what they had to say, because they're all about helping their group. And it is not just something they say. It's truly how they're building their organization. And I asked if he or Luella would be on the call, and he has offered to be on the call. And we're just going to listen to him today. So no video of him. But I want to tell you, if there's example of how to build a business, Jonathan and Luella are doing that. And seeing his teams kind of rise up and new leaders come and taking responsibility and the trainings that they're doing and how fast they're growing definitely shows me that they're doing something right. And I don't know if I've said this here or not. I think I did when I came back. I asked how many people had seen my dad in the meetings that I'd gone to. And especially in one meeting, there weren't a lot of people. And at first I was really upset, I remember just thinking how sad, that these guys will never be able to get to see dad in person. You can see him on videos and you can watch some of his trainings, but everybody here knows how he was, just super fun and that. But the reality is, when I sat there, it took about 2 seconds for me to then think, but how amazing is this? How fast we're growing still. And we had a giant group of people there, just full rooms, lots of people coming to see these meetings. And of course, they hadn't met dad. Of course, the Mower mission starts with dad, but just to see all that growth, I loved it. And I knew dad would be so proud to think that there was a room full of people, a year and a half or so after he'd passed, that was just so interested in what he'd started. And it was very cool. And it was a great meeting. So Jonathan, if you are on, can you *6 and unmute yourself?
Well, hello, Leisel.
Hello, Mr. Jonathan. I want to ask you something before you start, because I think this is something that a lot of people can relate to. And I see Jonathan get up in these meetings and he takes control, and, you know, he'll, if he has to talk about a testimonial, if he has to bring people up, but he did say that in the beginning, it was extremely, extremely hard for him. And how long did it take you, Jonathan, to kind of get over that fear of getting up there and really just being in front of people?
Well, I would say probably 6 months. But it wasn't alone. It was in the encouragement of my wife.
Yes.
She kind of encouraged me on and said good things about it, and yeah, she helped me a lot.
Well, and your wife is Luella, and welcome to our call. And I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you being on our call, because I think it's 6 or 7 where you're at, so a little bit later. So thank you for being on this call for us. But I want to talk about some different ways that you're building your organization. And one thing when I was there, I was really impressed about, as you'd told us at dinner that you guys were not going to be building anymore on your front line anymore. You were going to be spending the next year helping your group. And I thought that was so cool. And, you know, to go to these other meetings and see these people rise up. So maybe you can take some time, and first of all, why don't you give us the story of how you got into Sisel, you know, maybe what your, you know, why was, and what really made a difference to you and made you really think about Sisel, and kind of start there.
Sure. Wife had problem with pregnancies, and in back of my mind, I knew this wasn't normal, but it was, I guess, our normal. But somebody stepped up and introduced us to Sisel and gave us a couple products, and really, really helped. But I think we're discovering since then, it's not what's in the products, it's what's not in the product.
Yeah.
And the Mower mission, toxic chemical free. There's a lot of good products out there, but with so many toxic chemicals in it, the ingredients can't do what they need to do. They tear down about as quick as they build up. So yes, we had amazing results, and that kind of thought more people need to know about this. So we started sharing, and that kind of joined in with people started seeing that Luella actually looks better, acts better, looks like her face is shining a little bit more. She always looked kind of, didn't feel good. And once people started seeing that and asking her, I guess the Mower mission just flowed when people started asking her. And so that's what our first goal was, okay, if they want products, okay, let's help them get the products, and that's about it. What I knew about MLM was not good. But I learned a different way about it, and I love MLM. if you can get your mind around it, that you're helping people. A lot of people around this area are now saying network marketing, anything that you have is network marketing. Any store, any business that builds something, because as you go up, you get more money. So that's kind of where we are at now, is helping people help themselves. So that's what, and yes, that's what Leisel just touched about, was we're going to help our downline. Not sure where to.
Let me ask you a question. So,
Okay.
You guys, and I know this is kind of a weird question, but you're kind of youngsters. Do you mind telling us your age?
I'm 33 years old for about 10 days now.
For just 10 days now, huh?
Yep.
And you guys have the cutest kids. And I mean, you're busy. I know you guys do, or haven't. I don't know how much you do it before, but I know you've talked about some of your other business ventures. But you guys, obviously, just with being a young family, and I was there once and stuff, and being busy in that, it's difficult to think of doing a whole new business. So you tried the products and you absolutely loved them. And at what point did you say, was it just kind of like you said, it came naturally? Because, Tom Sr. would always say, be a product of the product. And they saw Luella's changes and it came naturally. And when did you get to the point where you said, okay, I want to make a business out of this? Because like I said, you've been in 5 years now, you're a 6-star. When did you really get serious? Was that at the very beginning, or did it take a little while?
Took a little while.
Yeah.
That's one of the good things that came out of COVID. People couldn't travel from state to state, but we still had our small meetings. And instead of waiting for our upline, we just, let's see how it goes. And we never looked back.
Yeah. And what do you do? And do you have meetings every week? Because I know how do you feel like you've been so successful in building your business?
Listening to what other, but listening to other people's problems, and then maybe sending them products, and not introducing them to the business at all. Just make them feel good and then let them decide to do the business.
And Jonathan, the last time I was there, I actually think you got up and said, we're problem solvers. And you said exactly the same thing. We listen to people. What are they struggling with? What do they need? And that's what we try and do, is truly help people. And we've got great products to do it. And it's obviously showing in your business. But did you have any time there where you were frustrated, or did it seem to be a steady rise, or were there any kind of little bumps along the way that you can talk to us about that you had to overcome?
Yes, there were a couple bumps. The business part, okay, I was working full time. Luella stepped in and kind of started making phone calls and and that thing, and I didn't want her to be out there and get knocked and bumped around. So I guess I forgot to mention this. We have had more personal growth with the two of us than we had Sisel growth. I guess we could say we're probably at 10 or 12 star with our personal growth.
I love that.
We had a lot more, yeah.
So this has just been something that's really helped both of you because, and I don't want to say any story you don't want to, but when I was there, you got up on stage and you kind of talked about some of the struggles that you both had and the support that you've been to each other, like you say, not in this business, not with just personally and with some of your business and stuff, and how you guys have really rallied to just get through them and be stronger. And I mean, like I said, it was one of the more impressive things for me to go and see these new teams and just these younger couples that just have, just a lot of dedication and getting up and talking about the hard times. Luella got on stage to talk about some hard times, and very real, but it was just kind of all about just everybody kind of has some real issues and stuff. And it's all about really digging in together. And I honestly just feel like you guys really walk the walk as far as wanting to help people.
Yeah, I guess you have to get it in your heart for the people behind you want to get it in their heart. And that's one thing. I love Jim Rohn as my mentor, kinda. And one thing he has in there is let your people grow and develop. Don't hawkeye over them. You have to do this, you have to do that. Let them grow and develop. If they ask questions, be there and answer them.
Well, that makes sense and I saw you do that. The second meeting we had, you let your team put it together, and there were a few bumps. And we talked about that after the meeting. You guys immediately got together, like right then and there, and said, what did we do wrong? What did we do right? What would we do better next time? And I thought that was so cool.
Yep. Not sure who says it, but like I was the MC and not everything went quite as smooth, so just pivot and adjust.
That's right.
Don't make it has to be my way. Just pivot and adjust, and everything will just flow smoothly. And just.
So what are some, so you don't talk about the business at all. You mostly just listen to people and talk about their needs and stuff health-wise. But once you have people interested in doing a business, what do you do as far as training? Do you guys have, anything set up, or what are you doing with your team right now to support them this year? Like you said, we're going to just support our team this year. What are your plans to do that?
One-on-one business training. We had maybe 2 this year. Business meetings where we invited all our downline. Now that we're coming into summer, everybody seems busy, so we're not going to force it on them. We're watching a couple that once they have time, we're going to ask them if sit down and talk business with them. And what we try to do is tell them help. How would I say it? Send out more products instead of tell them, hey, you can make so much money.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the way we like to do things.
And what do your team? What products? Because everybody's different, but it seems some teams have favorite products and product lines that they work with. What are your and Luella's?
Probably Triangle and Sisel Rip.
And do you think most people in your team kind of do the same? And because actually, I was really surprised to see Sisel Ripped seem to be almost the favorite of almost anybody I talked to there. I mean, it was very surprising.
That's probably the biggest thing that helped my wife.
Is Sisel Ripped?
Yes. Yep.
I love that. And of course, you guys talk about all the products. There was a line of testimonials that you guys had put together, and there was a guy there, and I don't know if it was Brain Vitality, but he had a testimonial that just about had me crying the whole time. But you guys are definitely getting to be product specialists, I've noticed. But I guess in closing here, I really love that. I know you guys talked to Milo and I as we were coming out there, and you didn't want to concentrate on the money. And, you really wanted to concentrate on, just helping people. And it's obviously working for you. I know you've got, like I said, some people under you. If you're a 6-star, obviously you've got some new teams there, but even those new teams are growing at a very great rate. So you're doing something right. And I really like that. So any words of wisdom as you kind of leave us here, or anything that you want to tell us?
Husband and wife team can be very, very powerful, no matter how quiet one of them is. Help each other. If you get a question, don't answer it right away. Go in, talk with your spouse about it, and then answer them. That's the way we like to do it. I see things Luella doesn't. Luella sees things I don't. And we don't have, it has to be this way. No, we compromise and kind of talk about it and pros and cons, and then we answer.
And I'm going to repeat this story a little bit only because you did on the stage, and I won't get too much into it, but I really love the story that kind of goes along with this, that, Luella was struggling years ago. And it was kind of funny because, you're very measured in what you say. And Luella is hilarious. You're both awesome together. So, and you guys do have a lot of couples that work together, but Luella got up there and she really spoke from the heart about, some issues that she was struggling with. And she'd gone to you and said to you, what's wrong? And she just said, Jonathan doesn't answer you right away. And, he thinks about it. Then he comes back and he talks to me about it. And I thought that was very cool, because you're really caring about what you're going to say to her. It's just not, something, that's rash. And she did laugh, and she's like, it sometimes drives me crazy, but he always comes back with exactly the right thing to say. And I thought that was very cool. And I think you can also, do that in your business. Take a little bit of time to really think about what you're saying to people and making sure you're giving them the right message. So I loved Luella's testimonial there on that.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it.
Well, thank you. And
now you guys are going to Mower Mountain.
Yes, we
and
are.
You're bringing all the kids.
Yep.
Well, we're going to have a great time. And for those of you who, like I say, have never met some of these new couples coming up, they're amazing. And they've just truly put their whole heart into this business. So let me ask you, and maybe you've already answered it, but what's your favorite product, Jonathan? Is it Sisel Rip?
Okay. For my wife, my favorite product is Rip.
Okay.
But for myself, it's Eternity. I haven't got it checked out, but I think I have a little bit of blood sugar problem.
Mm-hmm.
And just taking a swig of that and keeping it in my mouth, and then for however long I can stand it, sometimes it's 1 minute, sometimes it's 3 minutes, it just levels my sugar and I can just focus and keep going.
I love that. And actually, you guys had quite a few people talk about products. And are you guys, just because as COVID dies down, how often are you guys, and it's into summer, but during the rest of the year, how often do you guys do meetings? Like you said, one-on-one. So you're just kind of going and you meet with people at their houses?
Yes. Yep.
And then you'll hold, because I know Tom is coming out to see you guys in July, I think.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So how many times do you do a big meeting a year?
Once. Okay, Masters once, Mini Masters once. Would be twice a year.
Twice a year. Yeah. Well, Jonathan, you're absolutely doing something right. And I was so impressed, and I loved meeting you guys, and you're also a lot of fun. I mean, I'll have to say that Jonathan likes to tease as well, as most everybody there did. And we all had such a great time when we went there, and, just having meals together and doing some meetings, but getting to meet everybody and just hearing their testimonials, watching how they built their business in such a very unique, but loving, caring way, truly talking about listening to people, what products, will work for them, and filling a need that they have. What need is there that you can help fill them with? And it truly is one of those genuine, you can see, motivators for this team. And I think it's the biggest reason that they've been so successful is people know when you're wanting to talk to them about a business. But people know if you're talking to them about some issues they have, and you can talk to them about maybe products that you have, and you do fulfill that need. Because like I said, and I wanted Jonathan to talk about how he got into Sisel, because it usually is fulfilling some sort of need there. And with our products, it's great. So Jonathan, I want to thank you so much. And you're awesome. I think everyone here in Australia and New Zealand would love to tell you a big thank you. And I'll see you in 2 weeks at Mower Mountain.
Okay. Looking forward to it.
Thanks so much, Jonathan.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, I wanted to have Jonathan come on here. And sometimes it's a little more difficult when we don't have the camera on them. And as you guys have seen in some of our leader trainings, some will have it on and some won't. But each person who's building a business, I hope that we can just get some little bit of, what they're doing, what's making them so successful. Like I said, I was just out there last month with Milo, or a little more than that. And just to see all these, and he's he's really right. And at least how they're doing it. Their teams, their husband and wife team. The second meeting we went to, they had someone under them that was putting that together. It was more of a newer team, but her and her husband, and, her husband got up there. There was a guy who got up on the stage, and I think he did a testimonial, but he literally just was shaking. And he says, I said I would never get on this stage, but he talked about a product and what it had done for him. Another guy got on and talked about a product and what it had done for his father. And this is just truly talking about amazing products and what they can do for you. And these are people who love and care for their organizations. So, like I say, I keep talking about a 6-star because truly in this business, it's an amazing thing to happen, especially in 5 years. And like I said, he's got them springing up all under him as well. And it's just a very genuine one-on-one type thing. They don't have the phones and the emails and all that to call, Zoom calls. And I think we've talked about this quite a bit on here as we've had a lot of these teams come on and talk and do some of our leader trainings. And Dad used to call it belly to belly. It's truly getting with someone and listening to what's going on in their life, what they need, and how you can help them. And there's sayings all over that talks about when you help someone, you'll become successful. So Jonathan's awesome. Someone says very inspiring. He's very measured in how he talks. And then Luella gets on stage and she's hilarious and she makes fun of him and they do jokes. And they're such a very cool couple. Very, very cool. And like Marie said, very personable for sure. So we'll keep having these. But like I say, our next one, as we end on this, we'll do our Sisel business on our next call after this. And 5:42, these always go by so fast to me, but June 25th, guys, Tom Mower Jr. on our next call. We're going to have some fun giveaways on the 25th. We're going to be talking about the new products that came out at Mower Mountain. Some new programs, some very cool things. It's going to be probably a long call as we go over that. I'm going to try and organize that so that you guys get a taste of everything that happened at Mower Mountain. Like I say, join the call. There's going to be some product giveaways June 25th, and I hope to see you guys all then. So thanks, guys, for joining us, especially thanks to Jonathan. He did a great job. And even if it was, we couldn't see him, which would have been great, it was awesome to hear his voice and just to hear how he and his wife have built his successful business. And he'll be one for us to kind of keep watching and learning from. So thanks, everybody, for joining us and have a great weekend.